If you didn't believe it before, you have to believe it now. Lionel Messi is the greatest footballer ever to play the game, and now is officially the highest scoring player ever in the World Cup. At least for now. I'm an Englishman based in the USA, and this is the Real Football USA. My name is Simon. Thank you so much for tuning in to this Week 2 recap of the World Cup. Absolute chaos throughout this second round of games here at the World Cup in North America. And in this video, I'm going to be doing the 5 major headlines from this week's play in the World Cup, and then a new updated power rankings from the first video that we did after the first week of games. If you're new to the channel and enjoy the content, I'm really grateful you could hit the subscribe button down below. And of course, if you agree with my takes or you disagree with my takes, please let me know in the comments. I'm really eager to talk about the World Cup as much as possible across the world. So the first turning point of the Week 2 games has to be the USA clinching the group and clinching qualification after just 2 games with a comprehensive win over Australia. It wasn't as a convincing win as it was against Paraguay, but actually probably a bit more controlled. And without the star player Christian Pulisic, the USA really did step up. The atmosphere in Seattle was absolutely incredible, and it was the best home field advantage I think I've seen in the World Cup so far, maybe rivaling the Azteca with Mexico on game day 1. But the USA started the game brilliantly. Pochettino's high pressing tactics again. Florian Balogun really leading from the front. He's proven to be the star for the US in this World Cup. But they have such a solid starting 11, and they cope well without their start player. In the second half, Australia did grow into the game, and I think they played quite well. But clinching qualification and the group win after just 2 games is such an important thing for the US team here, especially as one of the major hosts. And I think the US fans are starting to believe that they can really do something in this tournament. Second talking point has to be the resurgence of Spain. After their disappointing draw with Cape Verde in game week 1, came roaring back in Atlanta against Saudi Arabia with a really great first half performance in particular. They were 3-0 up at half time, but finished the game 4-0. Lamine Yamal starring in the first 10 minutes of this game and proving to the Spanish fans what they were missing without him starting, and Nico Williams in the first game. But Spain really have to be considered one of the favourites. They really did take Saudi Arabia to the cleaners in this game, and it was very impressive. Talking point number 3, as we mentioned at the start of the video, Lionel Messi cemented his legacy as the greatest footballer of all time in my view. He's now officially the top scoring player ever in the World Cup. Maybe not for long. Kylian Mbappe is right on his tail, and obviously at the age of 27 as well, I think he's obviously going to overtake him. But Messi is really putting on a show in probably his last ever World Cup. He's playing with a freedom and determination that I haven't seen from him in years. And honestly, I was thinking about this during the game the other day when they beat Austria. That win in 2022 might have taken some of the pressure off for him to win the World Cup. He knows this time this is probably his last tournament, and he's going out with such a bang at the end of it. It really is a joy to watch, and it hurts me as an England fan because Argentina are one of our great rivals, but you have to appreciate the greatness when you see it. Lionel Messi has been playing top level for over 20 years now in the World Cup specifically, and it's just a joy to watch. I remember watching Lionel Messi live at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea in the Champions League in 2006, 20 years ago, and thinking this player is probably going to be the greatest player in the world, and he's surpassed that. He is the greatest player ever to play the game. Ahead of Diego Maradona, I know that's a controversial take, and definitely ahead of Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't think you can put them in the same conversation. Ronaldo is a great player, and we'll talk about him shortly, but Messi is just another level to everyone. And this Argentina's team is scary because they are playing to his strengths, and the whole team is sacrificing themselves to Lionel Messi so that they can get him on the ball and let him do his thing. And fittingly, move on to talking point number 4. Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal arrive in this tournament with a comprehensive 5-0 win against Uzbekistan. Obviously, you have to take into account the level of opposition. Uzbekistan in their first ever World Cup, and obviously not really at the standard as most of the teams here. But Portugal had to do a job, especially after dropping points against DR Congo in the first game week. But it didn't take Cristiano Ronaldo very long to silence some of those haters. Obviously, he's 41 years old now, but wow, what a great finish for that first goal. And the second goal was some great movement as well against Uzbekistan's strong area, which is defence. Kusanov, who plays for Manchester City, is a very quick, very good defender, but Cristiano Ronaldo rolled back the years in that moment, and Portugal were really easy winners in this one. As we mentioned, Lionel Messi is the greatest footballer of all time. I'm not discounting Cristiano Ronaldo's legacy. He's honestly one of the maybe top 3 or 4 players of all time. This Portugal team, I still have some doubts over them purely because I think Ronaldo can do well against this kind of opposition, but against better level defences, I think Portugal are going to come unstuck. And the fifth talking point has to be my team, England. After the euphoria of beating Croatia in game week 1, England fans were brought crashing back down to earth against Ghana. Honestly, I'm not too disappointed about this. I kind of expected it to happen. There was such a high after a great performance against Croatia. And Ghana set up really well, played excellently against England, you have to say. Carlos Queiroz, who is in charge of Ghana, is the old Manchester United assistant under Sir Alex Ferguson, and he sets up his team defensively absolutely brilliantly. And England really struggled to break down. I think England could have done a lot better. Obviously, that miss from Harry Kane in the last few minutes was such a bad miss. But England did have the chances, but just lacked the sharpness to win the game. Very disappointing as an England fan. I really think Thomas Tuchel should have played Nick O'Reilly earlier in the game. Jed Spence really didn't do much. And I think Anthony Gordon was the weak link, and Marcus Rashford created things when he came on. But a very disappointing day for England. But you have to give credit to Ghana. And honestly, they were probably robbed of a penalty in the second half as well. Konsa really gave away a foul. And the referee, I don't know why they didn't look at it more in the VAR. And that hurts as an England fan. But you have to admit when the referee makes a mistake. But really a poor day for England, but they're still in very good position to qualify for the next round as group winners, as Panama were knocked out after losing to Croatia, who were quite unlucky, Panama, in that game actually. But England should be firm favourites to go top of this group still. And now to the updated power rankings. I think it's a little bit difficult to judge just after one game. Obviously, I didn't include Spain in there last week purely because they drew to Cape Verde. But there's some real changes in this top 10 this week. Here is how I think the power rankings in the World Cup stand currently. Number 10. Mexico obviously won both of their games. Pretty weak opposition they played in the first game. And South Korea played for a draw in that second game. It was such a howler. It wasn't really a comprehensive win, but I still think Mexico are in the top 10. They roared back with a 5-0 win, as we mentioned earlier in the video. I'm putting them number 9 because the level of opposition was so bad, but they did click into gear, and I was very impressed with their attacking play throughout the game. Another new entry at number 8, and that's Colombia. Really flying under the radar in this World Cup. 2 wins in their first 2 games. Not comprehensive victories, but they look very sharp. I think Luis Diaz is one of the most underrated players in the world, and Colombia are going to cause a lot of problems. But 2 wins out of 2, you can't ask much more than that. And another new entry at number 7, that is Norway. Obviously 2 wins out of 2, beating Senegal, but it wasn't very a comprehensive victory. And honestly, I thought Senegal beat themselves really in this game, just like they did against France really. Erling Haaland obviously is the shining light in that team, and while they've got him in the team, they do have a chance. Number 6, I'm going to put the USA. Obviously, I put them in number 4 last time. I think just with the reshuffling of the pack a little bit, some of the other teams clicking into gear, I'm not understating their performances. They've started brilliantly, but I'll put them at number 6. But obviously, with winning their group already, it puts them in a really strong position. I just don't see them getting to the latter ends of this tournament, unfortunately, for the US fans. Number 5, England dropped 2 places. Really disappointing performance against Ghana. But I mentioned in one of my videos after the England game, I don't think Thomas Tuchel was brought in as England manager to beat teams like Ghana in the group stage who are just going to play a low block with no ambition to go forward. You can muddle through the group stages as England have done in many of their other tournaments. I think the edge with Tuchel will come in later in the tournament, and that's why I still put them as top 5, and I still think England could win. Number 4 is a new addition, and that is Spain. From their very disappointing draw against Cape Verde in game week 1, I couldn't put them in the top 10, but you have to include them now. They really clicked into gear against Saudi Arabia, played some excellent football, and if they do figure it out later in this tournament, they have to be one of the favourites to win. Number 3, high rises on this one, it's Germany. After a comprehensive win against Curacao in game week 1, I thought they were quite underwhelming against Cote d'Ivoire, but I think Cote d'Ivoire are actually a really good team. Why you have to put Germany right up there is their knowledge of playing in these international tournaments and their will to win. Coming back from behind and scoring 2 goals late on to win against Cote d'Ivoire was a real statement, and I put them in the top 3. Number 2 has to be France. I think they could be number 1. It's really on a knife edge between them and the other team that I'm going to talk about shortly. But Kylian Mbappe is storming into this tournament. His first goal against Iraq was excellent, and they haven't really stepped out of first gear yet. I know Iraq are a pretty weak opposition, but with that front line, you just have to put them in the top 2 in my view. But that leads to number 1, and it has to be Argentina. I didn't expect Argentina to be this good in this tournament this early, but the way that they're playing and the way that Lionel Messi is playing, I think they're putting a marker down, and I really think they're favourites for this tournament at the moment. But let me know if you agree with my power ranking in the comments below. Thanks for tuning into this latest latest episode of The Real Football USA with me, Simon. You can follow all our social media accounts and please subscribe to the YouTube channel with the subscribe button below. And I'll be back with a new video to go over game week 3. There's so many exciting games coming up. All the teams are playing at the same time in the groups. There's still a lot to be decided. And there's a lot of excitement yet to come in this World Cup. Thanks so much for tuning in, and come on England!